Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Barakatah. Before I get this lesson started, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rakakadas, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, whom I learned from, and shalom to the hopeful elect brothers, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yasharallah to the marriage supper of the Lamb. This is your brother Adah, who is Yahweh Shai, Salakia. This is your brother Adah with another lesson on who is the man of sin. The revealing of the man of sin is a specific race of people going up into the upper echelon, elite rulers of those people, but it includes that entire race or nation of people because Scripture says so. We have to go along with what has been written about the nations, what has been written about reality and truth, and get our descriptions for truth and reality in life from what Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai has said and revealed in his word. He reveals his secrets to his servants, the prophets, and his prophets are only elect, hopeful elect, Israelite men. And those men today are your so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. And yes, we do look like the other nations because we were scattered into the other nations. And that is proven whenever you see someone that looks like a Moabite or a Chinese person, or you see someone that looks like an Edomite or a white person, and they're able to understand this truth, which is called the new song in Revelations 14, and they are given the ability to comprehend and understand it according to truth. Only an elect Israelite spirit can understand the scriptures the way it was written. The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on the right-hand side is not given to the 18 nations. It's only given to one nation, and specifically only to the elect spirits in that specific nation, which is Jacob, which is Israel, which is the 12 tribes of Israel. The man of sin is also a race of people, and within that, the rank and file of that nation, the higher up you go, you begin to see what Isaiah 14 calls the Lucifer, which is your light bringer. All Lucifer means. Lucifer is not the name of Satan, the prince demon spirit. That's all confusion and deception. Lucifer is a description of a group of men and women who operate in wisdom and light, and you have right-handed and you have left-handed. That's all that means. It means light bringer. Remember the precept, Satan's ministers transform themselves into an angel of light. Let's get that, because that's going to be the foundation for this lesson. This lesson is going to be long. There's a lot. This video right here, this Sacred Marriages, I guess this is a book. This is a long video. This dude is this. He sounds like an Edomite, but his entire ministry his tongue is falling upon his own people by exposing this shit. He could be a Jake. He could be a Jake, a speckled bird. I've never physically seen him. I've just always heard his voice. We're gonna come back to this video. Let me get the precept. Let me get the wisdom that Paul wrote down. I gotta, because I'm gonna use this. This is a boss. Hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me see. Angel of light. Angel. And the word angel of light. There we go. Corinthians, no marvel. Okay. 2 Corinthians 11:14. Let's go into the revelation that Paul was getting. So angel, it can go back and forth between man, messenger, or actual Allahayim, fiery, mighty one on the right or left-hand side. It can mean either or. And you have to do your due diligence to know let's in fact get it. Therefore, it is no great thing for his ministers also, to be transformed into ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to his works. Okay, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So is this talking about Satan, the prince demon Satan, or is this talking about Esau, the so-called white man? See, and you gotta do your studies. I'm gonna say it realistically. It's more so talking about Esau, the so-called white man, but he gets his light He gets his wisdom from Satan, the prince demon, on the left-hand side, the real angel, as Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, as Yahweh the Most High and Yahweh Shai order him to order Esau along the path of prophecy. All Satan is doing is he is and when I say Satan, I'm talking about the real devil, the prince demon spirit Satan. He is authorized by Yahweh and directed and ordered by Yahweh Shai, because all power and authority has been given to Yahweh Shai. He is ordered by his brother on the right-hand side to lead, to instruct the elite, the wicked elite, the elite wicked of Esau. They receive all of their light, all of their instruction. Every ruling beast system power on the left-hand side has been directed by Satan, as he was instructed by Yahweh and Yahweh Shai down the path of prophecy. Satan, the prince demon spirit, is not committing a transgression as he does this, because that's what he was created for. He's in his purpose. He's not rebelling against Yahweh. It is the ones who live in the place under the sun. They're the ones that receive judgment. And mankind lives on the earth under the sun, and we receive judgment. The right-handed powers and the left-handed powers, they don't get judged when they're sent by Yahweh to do the things they do in the earth. You guys, can you understand that? They are the right and left hand expressions. They are the right and left hand of Yahweh. Therefore, they don't commit sin. So Satan, the prince demon spirit, is ordered by Yahweh. He's directed or ordered by Yahweh Shai to lead the elect, the wicked elite of the Edomites in all of this wicked left-handed wisdom and knowledge. Okay, so no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So you have to understand that this is a major foundation in the earth, that the elite of the Edomites, they stand on this, because they have transformed everything. I used to read this as a Christian and be like, oh, it's just something that Satan, the devil, does. He just makes himself look like Gabriel or something. No, that's not what it means. This is going into complete deception and perversion and inversion. If you got to understand the controversy of Zion, which is what? It's the Edomites who are what? They are called the wicked. And they have done what? They have transformed themselves into Jacob, who is the righteous. Can you see that? The 1948 Balfour Declaration, that is the controversy of Zion. That is the wicked race of people, the wicked nation, telling the world, while we were in captivity, Salakia, and while we were being discontinued from our heritage, like it says, as a form of punishment, another nation stepped in and claimed to be us. They had the money, they had the resources, and they had the global influence from their position of rulership, and they had complete control over what? The press, the media, and the airwaves. And from that position, they were able to tell the world they were us and we were them. You have to understand that. You got to understand that. So let's go. Let's do the blue letter on this real quick. This is a deep topic. So okay, he is transformed. What's the word transformed? To change the figure of, to transform. Sounds like transgender, to change the figure. So see, you see the physical manifestation of what is happening in the spirit. You got to see, this is deep, man. This is transgenderism. It starts to make sense now. It's like, why that's such a perverted thing. But if you have a nation that understands from a light perspective, from a wisdom perspective on the left-hand side, that they can transform themselves from the wicked to the righteous, but they're not righteous, they're just going to pose as the righteous, well, then why wouldn't they say a man can transform into a woman and a woman can transition into a man? It's the default. It's the byproduct of that. The root nourishes the branch, which then nourishes the fruit. Does that make sense? You'll know a tree by its fruits. What is the fruit of the Edomites? Transgenderism, transformation, to change the figure, to transform. But it's perverse. And yes, there are other nations that are now tapping into this information, but somebody had to perfect it first before they could go public with it, right? Exactly. Because we didn't have the finances when we were enslaved. When we were enslaved, you guys, we didn't have the fucking money. We didn't have the natural resources, and we didn't have the position of authority, and we didn't have the position of influence. Even though we're on TV, we didn't control the television. We're in the press. We don't control the press. And we are also in the airwaves, but we don't control the airwaves. Who does? Amalek, the head tribe of Esau, right? So this comes from them. They're the ones that are producing this fruit that everybody is eating. And now when you start to eat from something, what happens? It nourishes you. It goes into your body, and what does it do? You begin to get nourished by it. You also begin to change into it. Can you see that? Let's go back into an angel of light. What's angel mean? A messenger, envoy, one who is sent. An angel, a messenger from the Most High, from the power. This is also a man. This can also be a man. It's not just only specific to a mighty one. It's also talking about a man. Okay, and then light. What is light? Light is wisdom. Light, the light emitted by a lamp, a heavenly light such as us surrounds angels when they appear on the earth. Anything emitting light, a star, fire, because it is light. And what's fire? Spirit. Sheds light. A lamp or torch, light, i.e. brightness. What does it say? Wisdom causes a man's face to shine. Right? We know that wisdom is light, you guys. We also know when you go into the wisdom of Solomon, yada yaja, right? Beloved of Yahweh, the son of David, Yahushua, King Solomon in his lot, writes about wisdom being what? Light. She is found, even though she is compared to the light, she is found before it. So wisdom has her origin even before the illumination of what light is. That's how deep and high King Solomon's wisdom was when personally describing the spirit of wisdom of his father, even though encapsulating his father's spirit of wisdom in the poetic description of her. If you can receive that, look, the truth and its knowledge. What is Yahushua? I am the way, the truth, and the life. Together with the spiritual purity associated with it, that which is exposed to the view of all. Now, this is talking more on the right-handed side, but there is a left-handed side of this. You have to understand the Most High is a perfect power of balance, right? That which is exposed to view of all, openly, publicly, reason, mind, the power of understanding, especially moral and spiritual truth. This is a right-handed description of light. This is where we have to be on this side. But the Edomites, they operate on the left-handed, and that's where the transformation comes in. And the wisdom on the left-handed gives them the ability to do a diligent search, and they're able to search out the depths of a culture, of a heritage, and then mimic it, because that's what they did with us. And they do a diligent search on the human body with all of its biochemistry, with the way, adolescence, how when a young boy's body begins to change, they have learned when to cut off the testicles and when not to. They have learned when to go into a woman and shave off the Adam's apple or shave down the brow ridge, because men have a specific skeletal structure and women have a specific skeletal structure. They are the only people who had the money and the time and the power to do all this shit. So I'm saying all of this to say the man of sin is a so-called fucking white man. You will know a tree by its fruits. Now let's go back. Let's go back and read some more of this. Let me see if I can. Let me see. Let's start from 11. This is 2 Corinthians 11. Wherefore, because I love you not, God knoweth. But what I do, that I will do, that I may cut off occasion from them which desire occasion, that wherein they glory they may be found even as we. For such are false apostles. What's an apostle? One who is sent. Let's get the apostles, false apostles. These are your false prophets. A false apostle, one who is falsely claims to be an ambassador for Yahushua HaMashiach. And that's all. That goes into your Western Renaissance Christianity. That goes in your Catholicism. All of this goes back to all of this, okay? All right, transforming themselves. Okay, look. So 13, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. Hamashiach, right? And no marvel, for it's Satan himself. So you see, from 13 to 14, you see a foundation. That one is coming. There's going to be one given the ability, right, to pervert, to invert, to make forward things backwards. But they're going to have a wisdom and a knowledge and understanding on how to do so. And they're going to have to operate on the left-hand side to pull it off. And we're going to show you this in this next coming up video. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to the works. This goes into your Hollywood movies. This goes into every Golly Wally, G.B., Happy Days, Gilligan's Island character you have ever seen of so-called white people. What is the scripture? As the officer, as the judge is, so are the officers. Let's pull that really quick. I don't want to. Fuck it. I'm gonna go. So remember this. I'm coming back to these photos. Pictures of the Roth. That's how I wrote it. Look, pictures of the Rothschilds ball back in the 70s, where a guy is wearing a mask that is half women, half men. That's how I typed it in. Okay. Let's King James, I believe Ecclesiasticus or Wisdom of Solomon. As the judge is, so are his officers. Let me see. This shows you that when the king is perverted, the people underneath him are perverted. Okay? There it is. Bam. That's what I was looking for. As the Ecclesiasticus 10 and 2. As the judge of the people is himself. That goes into your rulership, your elites, your banking families, those who are on the top. You know, when you see the pyramid, you see the eye on top and then the pyramid on the bottom. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all that dwell therein. So whenever Yahweh directs the heart of the mind of the king, the people follow. Whatever vibration the rulers are under, everyone that's underneath them are under that vibration, unless Yahweh B'Shem Yashai has grace on you and puts a covering on you. All right, look at this, man. Now let's go back. Let's go back to this. Look at these images. What do you see? You see rich and powerful Edomites. So if you look on the left, that's the face of the actual Edomite. And then on his right hand or left hand side, he's got a picture of that woman, that famous drawing. And then on the side of his ear, he's got a picture of a man. Then he's got insects on. So this all means shit, bro. And he's wearing black. And you can best believe that this dude is super rich, right? Look at that. These are all those photos. You can believe that they've been around human sacrifice. You can believe that they have had sexual practices with children. These people are all the wisdom, chapter 12, verses 3 and 6 people. Let's pull it really, let's get it really quick. You got to see this shit, man. Wisdom, right there. You got to see, oh, dang it, man. Oh, come on, man. Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 3. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of the Holy Land, verse 4, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices. Verse 5, also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh and the feast of blood. 6, with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute for help. This is these people, you guys. These motherfuckers, man. This is these people. Okay? Let's go back. Look at that. You see, what do you see? You see Edomites doing this shit. And these are the people that called us, they called us monkeys. They said we were animals. But this is what, oh, it's just being, no, dude, this all means something. I'm going to pull up a video where the guy's breaking it all down. It means something. All this means something, you guys. And this is like a more a modern version of it. But you see back here, you see it. Okay? You see that shit? This is like the real, this is back in the 70s, this real authentic shit. It's real genius looking, right? It's left-handed wisdom. It's left-handed knowledge. You can best believe too that they do stuff that if you were to see it, you would vomit. It would freak you out, and you would see them not vomit and not freak out, okay? Because they're brought up in this. This is all they've known, yet when we see them on camera, they're acting all super cool. They're acting like they're righteous, right? Look at this. That's a Marie Helen. She was an actress. She got her head in a cage. What does it mean? It means something. Look, and then that's a pretty fucking girl, bro. But she was an actress, right? And so she would act in movies all pretty with those hypno-sounding voices. Hey, talking all gentle and soft, right? Looking all cute. But then back behind the scenes, she's doing shit like this. And it's all of them. They all do it, right? So now, let's jump to I gotta go to the 20 minutes in. I haven't even fucking started I get trying to lay foundation. That's the brother. Hold on. That's the brother. Shabai right there. Shalom Shabai when you see this. Y'all my shit was up Rakatha. Shabai. So look.
Okay, so I got
this is a book that breaks this stuff down on the left-hand side. The divine human sexual metaphor from summer to early Christianity. What does that mean? That's all a deception right there. So listen to this.
This from this book called Sacred Marriages.
Hold on, before I get this.
Today, let's take a look.
Look at this. These are two boys, you guys. Those are not girls. Listen to this shit.
Bella, here's my first video. Important topic that I really
And this shows you, the precept, he has done a diligent search. Let me get that. Hold on, damn it. I got to get that now. Because look how young these children are. So Esau has studied human biology. He understands when adolescence starts and when it doesn't start, when it stops, when menopause. Those are all like chemical processes in the human body. And men and women have different chemical processes because Yahweh is a chemist, right? And you have to understand all those chemical processes. You got to understand the bone system, the bone structures. You got to understand how skin works. You got to understand how blood flows. You got to go into all this shit to be able to master this shit that you see. You have to understand the truth to then perform the lie. Does that make sense? Esau understands the truth of the human body, both male and female, in order for him to manipulate it in such a way that he does. Does that make sense? Just like he knows the truth of the scriptures, that's why he's able to manipulate it in the way that he does. Renaissance Western Christianity is the perfect manipulation of the truth of the Hebrew scriptures, because the Bible does not say what Renaissance Western Christianity says. But what they do, they had to remove the Apocrypha, which is 14 books, and then they had to use their media and bombard everybody with Edomite images of the Bible, right? That's what all those movies goes into. The only reason why they made those movies, they wanted to put a white image of God, a white image of his son, and a white image of all the prophets in the minds of people, right? And then spread this universal teaching when the scriptures are 1,000% exclusive, and those people are melanated people, man. I'm gonna let this continue.
Wanted to talk about for some time, and here we are looking at the two beautiful twin models, Ava and Leah. I became aware of them a couple years ago when I saw a story online entitled the most beautiful girls in the world. And it was a story about how these two came into the modeling world. And you can clearly see that they're beautiful children, they're fit, they're stylish, and the photos are done professionally. However, the reason that I'm bringing this up is that in the bigger picture, the thing that nobody's talking about, the real truth, is that these are not little girls. They're actually little boys who have either transitioned to girls or just dressing like them.
Now look what they're doing. Why are they doing? Look. You think you're just looking at ballerinas, right? Look at their hands. What is that? Why are they doing that? Why is the photographer making them make their hands like that? Esau speaks in codes. He speaks in riddles. This was the main reason why I wanted to show you this video. Those girl boys are no more than 8 years old, dude. 7 to 8, maybe 9. They're babies. Why do they know to put their fingers in that 666 position? Why does everybody that's on fucking TV do this with their hands and their eyes? Exactly. You will know them by their fruits. Stop overlooking this fucking shit, man. God damn, bro. It's the same race of people every fucking time. And look how little these fuckers are. They're babies. They have done a diligent search. They know how the human body, when it starts to work and when it slows down, all that shit. And they start young on these fucking children, bro.
I started researching this topic a couple of years ago when I started to follow some YouTube accounts that have since been scrubbed, no small surprise, and they highlighted many of the public figures that we see every day. Actors, actresses, sports figures, singers, the list goes on, and they spoke about the large scale of secret inverted individuals and how anatomy of the body guarantees that you'll either have a female frame or a male one. And there are anatomical markers for both sexes that are undeniable. So it's fail-proof if you know what to look for. You know, for instance, women have childbearing hips and men do not. And what I discovered through all of that was that most of these individuals that we see in our day-to-day life, most notably people with large platforms, are in fact of the opposite gender that they're being presented as. And I have no issue with anybody changing their gender, the trans community, the gay, lesbian community. That's not what this is about at all. I have friends from all walks.
But she should, okay, because the law says those are abominations, but we're not going to go there. But she should have a problem with that.
In life, and we all judge each other by our characters. But this is about getting to the truth, and that's the truth that's right in front of our faces.
And the truth is Esau is the wicked, right? And he's been transforming himself into an angel of light. If he was willing to steal the identity of Jacob and then transform himself into Jacob, the byproduct is what? Everything else has to be transitioned. Everything else has to be transformed. That's also what this goes into. This is just the fruit of that tree. You have a false, fake tree that transforms itself into the tree of life. It's the tree of knowledge of good and evil or whatever. I'm just using that as an example. It transforms itself into a tree of life, but it's not really the tree of life. And all of the fruit that it produces is transgendered, transitioned, inversion. Everything's fucking backwards. Women are in positions of authority when they're not supposed to be. I have seen servants walking, or I have seen servants on horseback and princes walking. That's inversion, you guys. That's Ecclesiasticus right there. That's inversion. The head is on the bottom, and the bottom is on the head. The slave is in rulership, and the ruler is in slavery. All of this shit starts to make more. It's like, oh, it doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it okay. Sweet for bitter, bitter for sweet. Okay. Woe unto them who say bitter is sweet and sweet is for bitter. That's a precept. That's what this is.
To me, pretending to be another gender, knowing that you're fooling people on a global scale is just not at all okay. And as everyone knows, kids like to emulate people.
What did she say? Fooling people on a global scale? What did it say in Revelations? The serpent or the dragon who deceived the whole world? Who's the dragon? It's the Roman Empire. Who's the Roman Empire? The fucking Edomites, the so-called goddamn white man. Revelation 12:9, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. This is not talking about the prince demon Satan, even though he's using a race of people to do so. This is talking about a race of, talking about his physical counterpart, the race of people, his ministers that he's using, and it's a specific race. It's not everybody. There's people that he has from every nation sprinkled throughout his Hollywood agenda, but at the top, it's him. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. That's going into him losing his rulership in the near future. This is the devil, which deceiveth the whole fucking world. Let's go back here.
In the media and online. And it's especially dangerous because by not outwardly admitting that they're male to female, they're also setting the stage for you to accept that this is a female standard of beauty, which is a standard that you or your kids will never.
Because boys have different types of body muscles than girls do. They have different bone structures. Our fingers are different. The inside of our legs are different. I don't know it. But I've seen it explained. Our anatomies are different. Women have different fucking hip bones than dudes do. So that's why there's also there's a left-handed energy that comes off of those transgenders. Some of them, you look at them and there's an intense fucking desire, but you're like, what the fuck is that? It's not, because it's not natural. There's a vibration that's way more stronger because it's also abomination. Dude, I'm going to admit it. I don't find transgenders attractive. I have seen attractive transgenders, but it's because of the pull. There's a strong principality that's over them, pulling your attention into them. And then you hear their voice, or you notice it was like there's something fucking off about that chick. It's like, oh fuck, it's a man, and then you put your guard up. But that's the whole reaction to some of this. Some of it's right away, but sometimes you can't tell.
Achieve in your lifetime, and if you're a little girl and you want to look like some of these models and actresses when you grow up, especially in the Bible.
All right, now let's
take a look at Metallica.
That's a. So you got the drummer from Metallica. That tall thing, that's it's a man.
The drummer, Lars Ulrich. Now, the first thing we observe is that his wife is about a foot taller than he is. Now, that's normal in the entertainment industry, but very rare in the real world. And you'll notice a large Adam's apple protruding from...
And you can see it right there. That's a fucking man, dude. Because only men, the biology of men, we have Adam's apples, women don't. And you can see that fucker sticking right out of her throat, right there, his throat.
The neck of the alleged wife, with a very strong jawline, prominent cheekbones, and brow bone, evidence of plastic surgery, and basically a face more masculine than most guys, with a larger Adam's apple than most guys, and a larger mouth.
He's going to say something nasty.
Okay,
now I said all this. This is the same guy. This is a long video, but you got to listen to this stuff, man. And you can see the information. It's on TikTok. I got halfway through it. I was like, God, I got to do a lesson on this, man. Listen to this, man. This is a book. I'm almost considering buying it just to fucking read it. But he does a really good outline in this. Look at the practices that we're doing today that Esau has forced onto the earth in America that are now just casual holidays. He's showing you in this book that there's recorded ancient wisdom practices of the heathen nations that Esau has conglomerated into his own system. Look at this shit, man.
From this book called Sacred Marriages, the Divine Human Sexual Metaphor from Sumer to Early Christianity. Now, I actually don't have this whole book. I just have one chapter. So I suppose that early Christianity part is probably from Catholicism, I would imagine, with the eunuch priests. All right, so chapter 3, Sacred Marriage and the Devotees of Ishtar. There's a few things I've highlighted that I just want people to be aware of. So I can't sit here and read all these books. I have tons of books and papers and academic literature about this topic. All right. It's pretty well documented. We were never told this kind of religion existed, really. You know, you may have heard of fertility cults and stuff, but you thought they Those are things that they did a long time ago, but these things still exist in these people.
You see the eagle right there. You see the 13 stars in the form of a hexagram, the 6-pointed star. All that shit means something, man.
Control mass media and the government and the economy. These are Freemasons, all right? That's really what we're talking about here. Sacred marriage in the ancient Near East, which is where that's where this has led me, by the way. It's all the ancient Near East and the pagan religions, all right, that are still being practiced. The religions that the Israelites, they were surrounded by these people. And sometimes the Israelites, in fact, quite often, the Israelites would actually join them.
Very key what he just said. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to record this video. Now, I said this guy sounds like a Jake. I mean, he sounds like an Edomite. He could be a Jake, regardless. Some of the stuff he says is off, of course. But he's saying a lot of stuff that's on that we have understanding to. And that is why we went into captivity. The adulteries that we committed against Yahweh by practicing the abominations of the heathen nations. And it goes into this.
In their worship of pagan gods, which you can read about in the Old Testament, and that really pissed off Yahweh. That's what divided.
And his name is Yahweh, because that Yahweh name and that Yeshua name that goes into freaking Esau inverting shit. Okay, there's no E's in Paleo Hebrew. His name is Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai's name is Yahweh Shai.
The kingdom of Israel originally. Solomon started to worship the pagan gods. These Sodomites were in the land.
And that is recorded in the scriptures, and from that point on, we were split. And that's when the northern kingdom, the 10 tribes, became Ephraim or Israel. And that's when the southern kingdom, the south, Benjamin, Levi, and Judah, became Judah. And we have been that ever since to this day. Ezekiel 36 and 37 goes into the reconstruction of the one stick being the two sticks becoming one in Yahweh's hand. And that's why when you see One West, the elders and apostles, the great millstone, whenever you see them preaching, prophesying on the streets, they have the plank, the stick of the 12 tribes chart written down as on the ground as they're preaching, and pictures of slavery and the southern kingdom and northern kingdom going into captivity, and the ICBM missiles destroying America. That is explained in Ezekiel 37, and we can prove that the 10 tribes are the Latinos and Native Americans by the prophecies in Genesis 49 and what Moses said in Deuteronomy. And we can trace the navy patterns of King Solomon in 1st or 2nd Kings and line it up with 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and follow that path from Western Asia, which is now called the Middle East, all the way up to South America, up and through Mexico into North America. Proving the prophecies, the haven of ships, it's talking about the Panama Canal, Asher's feet being covered or dipped in oil, and iron goes into Brazil, the whole area, the rainforest, and the border of his border shall be, is talking about the Hamites. We see the Olmec heads over there in Mexico, and Issachar being crouched between two burdens, talking about North America and South America. Bro, it's all explained, man. Going into the Naphtali being a hind let loose, going into the rodeos, and the ability to ride horses that you can only see being done by the Northern Kingdom. They excel in all that, bro. We're able to prove all this stuff, man. But I don't want to go off on a tangent. This is what he's talking about. He's talking about what happened to us. This is real history. And the real reasons why we were scattered, why Yahweh slung us to the four corners of the earth, is because we were committing these levels of adulteries. And here we are now in America where they practice this shit.
Sodomites were transvestite pagan priests. And that's what divided the kingdom. And it still has not been put back together yet. Sacred marriage in the ancient Near East usually refers to ritual enactment of the marriage of two deities or a human and a deity. Sacred marriage between the goddess Ishtar and several of her devotees. Now, this is the goddess of America as well, all right? All the symbols you see regarding the United States revolve around the goddess Ishtar. Go to Washington, D.C., There are thousands of statues and images of gods and goddesses. It's not just because they think they look nice. It's not just decoration, all right? It's a religious city created from nothing. And in fact, it's not part of the United States, is it? United States, there's 50 states. District of Columbia. Columbia is the name of a goddess, by the way. Right between Mary Land and Virginia, Virgin Mary. It's really just Ishtar in disguise. And it's not a state. Therefore, the District of Ishtar is not part of the United States because it is not a state. It's the ruling district of the slave states. All right, the United States is controlled by a foreign entity with foreign gods. Sacred marriage between the goddess Ishtar and several of her devotees, namely Asinus, Kurgarus, and Kululus. All right, so I think I've mentioned these things in another video, a previous video I did a few months ago. So these are basically the Babylonian terms for sodomite or male cult prostitute that you see in the Bible, all right? Assyria, all these places, right? And then this moved into Greece and Rome and Washington, D.C. and Hollywood and all over Europe, etc. In their ecstatic performances, they were joined with Ishtar in a union comparable to sacred marriage. Actually, the devotees did not enter into regular marriage. The goddess they served was the only woman in their lives. Self-partnered. By serving the goddess, they fulfilled the same function as the king in the sacred marriage ritual. They ensured the blessing of the goddess for the country. For all these reasons, the relationship between Ishtar and her devotees can be interpreted as one form of sacred marriage. In order to understand this relationship,
And she looks like a dude right there. That's a girl from fucking all the sorcerer movies or whatever. Look at her. That's a dude, bro. Look at her neck.
Must examine the ambivalent gender of these devotees. Like the OA. The fact that they were men who were changed into women enabled them to join with the goddess.
So this is all recorded, documented, ancient world left-handed information that he's reading. We don't fucking believe it. We don't follow it, but this is what they believe. This is what rules and runs through Esau Edom's fucking rulership, you guys. And Esau Edom is over the earth.
On a level that no ordinary man could have achieved. All right, so Ishtar is the goddess of love and war, balancing the polar opposites, kind of like Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot was served in the Israeli military, was also a beauty contestant. Ishtar did not conform to the expected role of a woman as a...
I think the chick on the right, I think that's a dude, man. I'm serious. I think that's a fucking dude, man.
wife and mother, like the feminist movement. But on many occasions, she acted as a man.
Look at her neck.
She stands at the boundary of differences between men and women. Her astronomical manifestation.
And if you realize it too, they're both wearing that's male clothing. They're not supposed to be dressed. They're supposed to be wearing dresses. That's male clothing, man.
Was Venus, which was considered to be masculine as the morning star and feminine as the evening star. Ishtar was worshipped as a lovely maiden, but also as a bearded warrior. And by the way, Egypt also has some androgynous gods as well. Ishtar was not a hermaphrodite, but a female deity to whom male power and dominance were also attributed. All right. Now, you may see different opinions about that particular statement, but there's a difference between a hermaphrodite, which is a physical characteristics, and an androgynous deity. And the feminine aspect is the fertility part of it, that they believe this, the mother goddess is the one that gives life to nature itself, in your crops, in your family, and all these things. So it was a very important goddess that they wanted to serve. And then it also had these male attributes as well, and sometimes divided into a separate male deity, such as Baal and Astarte or Asherah.
So now he's going to go deep into the Christmas tree. Look at this shit.
And in fact, Christmas originated as the Asherah pole, which was a tree that was cut down and decorated, and the transvestite priest would castrate themselves, or someone else would castrate them, and they would put the castrated balls under the tree to fertilize the land. And that was on the winter solstice.
That's insane, huh?
And 9 months later, in September, would be harvest time. All right, so that's the origins of Christmas. And you also put the old pentagram on top of the tree and decorate it with balls, right? Those things, those ornaments. A goddess of paradoxes. Harris also notes that Ishtar...
Let's get it. Where does it say not to do that? In Jeremiah, I believe. We got to get it. Look, we were warned not to do this. I'm going to paraphrase it. Fasten the tree. Let me cut down a tree. A tree. Let me see. God damn it. For the custom, look at this. Jeremiah 10:3. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. Verse 4. They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. Verse 5. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. So that's telling you right there, don't do it. See what I'm saying? It tells you right there. This is what they're fucking... And this is a little glimpse into what he just explained. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. We're not supposed to do this shit. Not one bit. Let me go back.
Okay, so and then it also had these male attributes as well. She crossed the boundary between genders, kind of like they wanted to serve, and then it also had these male attributes as well, and sometimes divided into a separate male deity such as Baal and Astarte or Asherah, Ashtoreth. And in fact, Christmas originated. Someone else would castrate them, and they would put the castrated balls under the tree to fertilize the land. And that was on the winter solstice. And then 9 months later, in September, would be harvest time. All right, so that's the origins of Christmas. And you also put the old pentagram on top.
So you got to ask yourself, too, why? Like, every time you see a government official during this time of year, don't you think it's odd that they got to always show you them standing around a fucking Christmas tree? They got to put that image in your fucking mind that's all you see. And so what does the scripture say? As the judge is, so are the officers. Right? That vibration just goes from the top all the way down, bro. And you can't tell a motherfucker not to put one of these goddamn things in their fucking house.
Tree and decorate it with balls, right? Those things, those ornaments. A goddess of paradoxes. Harris also notes that Ishtar was a fundamentally liminal figure, marginal, ambiguous, marginal, and androgynous. She crossed the boundary between genders, kind of like they do in Hollywood and Washington, D.C., and all around the world. In order to unite with the goddess, her devotees discarded their original masculine identity. All three groups of cultic functionaries were born as men. Now, they were not hermaphrodites. So sometimes these scholars, they just have trouble wrapping their head around this thing. Because it's so weird, right? They think, oh, maybe they were born hermaphrodites, and no, they were fucking trannies, man. Their appearance was either totally feminine or they had both male and female characteristics. Kugarus, Asinus, and Kluus are all recorded in the literature of the Sumerian period, and all three continued to appear in Akkadian texts up to the Seleucid and Persian eras. All right, so in there's an ancient story called the Descent of Inanna into the Netherworld. Ishtar, or Inanna in the Sumerian version, descends into the Netherworld, which is Sheol, in order to gain dominion over the kingdom of the dead. When Inanna fails to return, both humans and animals lose interest in sex and no new births occur. All right, so Inanna's the fertility goddess is stuck down in Sheol, or the Netherworld, and then no new life can happen on Earth, right? So they got to get Inanna out of the underworld. In the Sumerian version, Enki, which is a different god, Enki creates Kugaru and Kalaturu to rescue Inanna. What are these? These are the Androgynes. The Androgynes rescued Inanna. This is like a sacred thing in their religion. This is a big deal. It's hard for us to understand it because it's weird. Somehow, this means a lot to them. They're trying to change the whole world into a Krugaru to rescue. Maybe Inanna needs to be rescued again. I don't know. But this is what's going on. In the Assyrian version, Ea creates transvestite priest, an androgyne, the original androgyne. In addition to demonstrating how closely connected Asinus, Krugarus, and Kulu'us were to the cult of Ishtar, the myth also provides justification for their existence and activities.
So I'm going to stop it there, and you can see how much more of this video is going. I got to finish listening to this. I don't want to make this too long. But look, let's just go back. What do you fucking see? That's what this all is, man. And these people have all the money. They have control over the influence of the media, the press, and the airwaves. And they're telling you their fucking agenda, their global worldview. And this is why Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua says, come out from among these people. Okay? These are not our fucking people. And our people who are tied up with them are going to get the same fate as they do, because they're fucking all fucked up with them, dude. Leading our people down the road of deception. So I just wanted to show you that this is so the man of sin. The man of sin. That's who this is. Okay, the man of sin. It's not talking about this one individual, half fallen angel, half human being man, all by himself that's going to be... No, it's talking about a race of people. 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And the son of perdition is Esau. I have made Esau bare. He shall no longer be able to hide himself. Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Right? And these people are in power. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, right? You see them. They are in power. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and he covers the faces of the judges thereof. He transgenders. He transforms. And why does he cover the face of the judges? Because he had to transform himself into the judge. He had to make himself look like God's chosen people. How the fuck can these people be God's chosen people when they're doing all this other shit? And there's never any judgment on them, because the wicked have been reserved for the day of the Lord's judgment. Look, Job 9:24. You have to learn the mysteries of the scriptures. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covers the faces of the judges thereof. If it's not that race of people, where are they and who are they? You got to answer this question. You have to answer this question. And who's the wicked, you guys? For all of you who fucking, no, wait a minute, shut the fuck up. Yes, it is. They shall call them the border of wickedness. Who is this talking about? You go to Malachi. Whereas Edom saith, or what? Malachi 1:4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them. Who's the they? Talking about the elect spirits, the Hebrew Israelite men. They shall call them the border of wickedness. The people against whom Yahweh Tazabah hath indignation forever. Yahweh hates these fucking people. I have hated Esau. So it's a verse before that. I hated Esau and laid his mountains at his heritage waste for the dragons. He hates them. People, oh no, God loves everybody. Who told you God loves everybody? These motherfuckers did. These bastards right here. These people told you God loves everybody because they know he hates them. And they hate him back. And they know what they do in secret. How do they know how to have parties like this in private, in public? How do they know to do shit like this? What does it all mean? It looks cool as shit, right? But you don't know what it fucking has its roots in. It has its roots in shit. Dude, these people will fucking eat you. These kind of people, They will watch a human be sacrificed and they won't throw up. They won't get a stomach ache. They won't get a headache. They won't have a bad feeling about it the next day and then get on television or go somewhere and confess, oh my God, I just saw the most horrible thing. Their genetic system is different, man. You don't understand. These people are fucking different, yo. They're different. Look at this motherfucker. He's got fucking hands and shit coming out of his fucking hair and his head. Oh, it's just cool. No, it all means shit, dude. It's all premeditated. It means something. And they're just having a party, right? We're just partying. How many human sacrifices have they been at? You got to answer the question, bro. These fucking people are wicked, man. I pray that this lesson was edifying. God, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua, you got to come back and destroy these motherfuckers, man. I fucking hate these people, bro. Because I'm 54 years old. I grew up thinking. I remember Christmas break. I remember Christmas. I remember, Easter egg hunts and fucking all of it was worshiping their gods. And I remember going through the racial conversation with my mom at 7 years old, crying when she was trying her best to teach me that I was black. And there is reasons why people do certain things sometimes. I didn't understand. I'm all crying, oh, I'm black. That was how we're not black. We're Hebrew Israelites. My mom didn't fucking know. My mom to this day doesn't fucking receive the fact that she's an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar. She's so fucking Edomite minded out. She's been married 5 different times to 5 different Edomite men. And when I woke up, I began to call her out on it because it was something I never did as a Christian. But when I began to realize, like, Mom, we worship these people because we've been indoctrinated by these people. And that was when I began to lose my relationship with my mother. I told her, you've been through my fucking drug addiction. You've been through my prison, my juvenile delinquencies. When I began to challenge the idol of the so-called white man in our lives, that's when I lost my relationship with you. She tried to say, no, that's not the reason why. It's because you were always talking about my sin, and my sins are covered by the blood of Jesus, because she's still into Christianity. I'm like, Mom, that's not why. It's because I was pointing out the so-called white man. And that's exactly what it fucking was. That's what it is with everybody. When you start to point out the fucking white man, you lose all your friends, because everybody's under the spell of these motherfuckers, man. And now it's like fucking my reasons are of hatred is because I lost time. I knew that I look back now and see how deceived I was. I remember how I used to look at them. I used to look at them like they were something because they had everything. I didn't understand rulerships. I didn't understand prophecy. I believed the lie. What do they tell us? They have everything because they're something special. That's why they got everything they got because their skin is white. That's what they told us. They didn't tell us that in order to keep their power, they have to drink blood and sacrifice children and get into human trafficking and do all kinds of weird sexual perversions, and that they have to do transgenderism. Transgenderism is it's a byproduct of their tree, which is what? It's a tree that transforms itself into an angel of light. They are the fucking wicked, and the higher up you go, they know. They know what they are. They know what they do, and they know who they do it to. But they told us, what'd they tell us? Part of their transformation was this. Look, I'm going to show you. Billy Graham. Billy Graham is a Freemason, you guys. But he was a huge part of their psychological... This dude right here. Oh... Look, let me see. Billy Graham, the Freemason. Let me see if it will pull it up. Because they give him, look, he's doing a handshake right there. Right there. That's a Freemasonic handshake. Same thing, Freemasonic handshake. People this dude was a fucking agent. Those are all Freemasonic handshakes. And all he's doing is telling you about white Jesus. Look. Close friends with fellow 33rd degree Masons, Harry Truman and Lyndon Johnson, Freemasonic handshake. You have to be taught how to do that handshake in order to just do it. And how come he's doing it and he's not saying anything yet? He told the whole world, right? He told the whole world about Jesus. Don't you just love it? Look, and then they got all our fucking Jakes. Look, he just told the whole world. He was going around the earth telling, like, Barbara Bush is a fucking man. He was going around the earth telling the world about a white Jesus, acting like a wholesome white male image, right? When he's an Edomite. At the same time, right? Same time, he never brought these people out. He never told you anything about these people. You think he didn't know? Come on, man. How do they get to do everything, bro? They get to do this shit and tell the world about the Bible? They get to drop atomic bombs on Japan and then tell you to be afraid of the Middle East? How does that work, bro? How do they get everything? Because they're in rulership. The earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. And because it was given, the power that gave it to them is why they've been able to get away with all this shit. These movies right here. That's what these movies go into. Eyes Wide Shut is talking about, you see it. They brag about their fucking shit, bro. This shit's coming to an end, bro. I swear to God, it's coming to an end. This is how it's coming to an end. I'm going to stop with this. Isaiah 63, man. And it can't come quicker, bro. I fucking hate these goddamn people, bro. I swear to fucking God, bro. I fucking hate what they've gotten away with, man. Isaiah 6, all they do is lock us up. And again, the 2/3 of our people are fucking stupid, bro. All right? 2/3 of our people are fucking idiots. But these people act like they don't do nothing. So look at this. This is Yahweh, Tazabah, sending Yahweh Shai back on a violent mission. Who is this that cometh from Edom? This is the war in heaven. This is Revelation chapter 12. This is Obadiah chapter 1. And this is fucking, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 13 on that ass, bro. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? Why? He's covered in blood. This is, Edom and Basra are synonymous with the so-called white man. Basra is the chief city of Edom. So it's like saying, who is this coming from Beverly Hills, California? Who is this coming from the Canton, or the Cantons, what's it called, in New York? Some white place. Anyways, who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra, that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength? That's the chariot. That's the UFO. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth the wine fat? And this is Yahweh Shai. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Kal halal, l'chaim la, Yahweh b'Hashem Yahushai, the water Yahweh b'Hashem Yahushai. For the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. Come, Yahweh Shai, and destroy these people, man. Remember the children of Esau. Confuse the plans of the wicked. Remember, man, Yahweh b'Hashem Yahushai, Shalak Rayam wa Anashim wa Abadim wa Haragim wa Masapatyam Al-Kal Adawamyam wa Gawamyam wa Ayabyam Nawa Babakasha 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 Yahweh b'Hashem Yahushai Tawara Aman. I pray that this lesson was edifying. I give all praise and glory to Yahweh, all praise and glory to Yahweh b'Hashem. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who affirm. Shalom to the elders, to the select men taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits to the four corners of the earth, bidding them to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.